How do you avoid motivated sellers flaking on you when you go to check out their house after they've called in from a postcard or your marketing attempts? This is a real pain in the butt in your wholesaling business a lot of the time, because you'll spend all this money on marketing and they'll call in, you'll qualify them, sounds like you got a great deal, and you agree on a time to go inspect the property. And then what happens is the day of, you don't hear from them, they don't pick up their phone, and all of a sudden they're gone. They've ghosted you. This is a real problem, and we're going to talk about how to solve that today. My name's Dustin.
I'm Corey.
We're the Wholesaling Daily Show, and today we decided to dress up. Well, I did.
Yeah.
We had to film another video, and rather than changing, I just stayed in my outfit.
You look fantastic.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. That's a really important thing to discuss, because think about it. Remember the wholesale numbers here. For every 30 leads that's going to come in, it's probably going to lead to 4 or 5 first-time home visits, okay? And of those 4 or 5 first-time home visits, traditional numbers will say that you should get probably 1 deal. However, one of the things you really need to work on is your communication with the seller from the time they call you to the day that you've agreed to go check out their house, because you have to remember this. A lot of the times, motivated sellers are perhaps not in the best state of mind. If they're in foreclosure or if they're distressed, often they might not be good with their phone. Their phone might be dead. Their phone plan might be out of minutes, and you just can't get a hold of them. So these are all precautions that you need to kind of pre-plan for beforehand, and just make sure you're getting all of the information, and really stressing the importance of how important it is for them to be home for that home visit. Because we've definitely experienced, we call it ghosting. Like, we're getting sometimes ghosted by these people to where it seems really great, and then it's not. It's kind of like if you're a single guy or a single girl, you meet somebody awesome, you really hit it off, and you set up a date to go out for dinner or a cup of coffee. You're all excited, and then the day of the date, you message them like, hey, see you soon, and then just nothing, right? And we want you to minimize that, and we'll just continue to share here.
Sorry, I was just thinking about all the times I've been ghosted there.
Corey's been ghosted 2 times in his life. You don't know this. Corey's 6'11", so
yeah.
The ghost rate goes, I was going to say goes down with your height, but
Yeah.
that's inconclusive data for us.
We don't have enough data on that.
All right. So when you have the seller on the phone, first off, before I continue, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, because we got lots of great stuff coming your way, and a daily video wholesale show. Podcasters, thanks for joining us. And Instagram, you're always the first on the scene, so thank you for showing up. All right, so the phone rings. You have the seller on the phone, and here's a key thing as well, okay? Here's one of the first keys that you need to get good at, and that is evaluating your after repair value in your comps on the phone when they call in. Ultimately, in a perfect world, you want to take the seller when they call and do the whole thing in one phone call, okay? And that is ideal. The second step is to call them back within 10 minutes if they leave a voicemail, because I can't remember what study it was, but the longer it takes you to get back in touch with a seller, longer it takes you to get back in touch with a prospect, the lower the chances are of actually closing the deal. So your main goal should be, you want to pick up the phone. Hey, it's Dustin Buys Houses. How are you? And negotiate, a ballpark range over the phone, and get really good on your comps. So it could be, if you're on your cell phone, pop in the Bluetooth buds, pull up Zillow real quick, and then maybe you want to just immediately minus 40% off of that number, 35% depending on the market. I think we're ballpark around 30 to 40% off.
Yeah, plus rehab.
Ish, depending. So you'll have your specific rehab formula for where you are. But you want to take that on the phone. So like call can come in. And then from there, you want to pull up Zillow real quick and say, all right, well, based on what I'm seeing here, I could maybe give you an offer around 50 or 55,000. How does that sound? How does that range sound to you? And at that point, they'll say no, or they'll say, well, a little low, or they could say, yeah, that range could work for me. So at that point, you specifically go ahead and get it set up. Schedule the time. All right, when's a great time for you to be home so I can come look at the property? And then secondly, is this your cell phone? Is this your email? And your landline. Get cell phone, email, landline. And then the day of the first time home visit, you want to make sure you hit all three of them, okay? Very important, just to multiple angles on that. And then that's going to help reduce the flake rate of these guys not picking up. And another thing is kind of building some comfort beforehand. So if you have a website, depending on how they found you, send them the link to your website. We actually send a video link because we don't personally go. We have one of our ground team going to the first time home visit. So we actually had him film a video in front of his car. Ironically enough, he just got a puppy. And so he brings the dog with him too. So he's got the puppy standing in front of the car, and it's like, hey, I'm Omar. I'm going to be showing up here in my black Honda. I'm going to have my friend with me, my little puppy, and just kind of building that rapport beforehand so they know what to look for when you're showing up to go check out the property. So that really helps a lot. And also kind of screening on the phone, like, is there any reason you won't be able to make this appointment the day of? And just really getting the commitment from them. And then secondly, if you've read the book, Never Split the Difference, he talks about like finding the black swan, which is the true reason why they need to sell their house. And that could be a couple layers deep. And you want to ask, obviously, why are you selling your home and what type of pain that's causing them? Because the more of an emotional connection they're going to have with you, the more likely they're going to feel comfortable and want to do business. Because you have to remember that it's a scary thing, first off, selling your home, but secondly, if you're distressed and you're getting solicited by everybody and their dog who buys houses, and you want them to work with you. So do your best to be professional and really go ahead and just put your best foot forward. And Corey, do you have any feedback on this?
You kind of hit the main one that I was thinking of was just building the relationship and finding the pain points, the black swan, and just being friendly. You can tell stories, but you don't want it to be strictly business. It is business, but you want to build that relationship, and that's going to increase your chances of them remembering you. And treating them like a human being is really important for that. We do have a question though that I can't see from here.
Can't see the question. We're taking a live question on the fly. These are great.
Whoa, hello. L.H. Willis, any tips on buying a property through an owner financing property?
Question is tips on buying a property through somebody doing owner financing. Well, as far as that goes, first off, I'll be completely straight up. We haven't actually done it. We don't do owner financing. We just buy and fix and flip. So, but we know people who've done it. Yeah. So as far as, tips going on that, like if you don't have the money or you want them to carry the mortgage on that property or carry some sort of note, one of the flexibilities on owner financing is if you aren't able to qualify for a loan from the bank. So that's kind of where owner financing comes in. We know that some folks with tax liens and deeds, they'll do owner financing on their tax deed properties because, like, for example, the funeral home that we bought for $6,000 that's worth $70,000, we could do owner financing with somebody who wanted to buy that. Say it's worth $70,000 and we take $10,000 down and then get our money through monthly payments. So as far as tips of getting it, I think obviously if you can't get a mortgage, but I guess more of my tips would be along the lines of if you buy a property and you're offering owner financing, more specifically probably from a tax sale property, because that's what we have experience with. And that's kind of the beauty of a tax deed property is if you get it 80% below market value, you can take all of your money back and then collect the residual income.
Yeah, and I guess just making sure you have the right contracts. Like for that, we've never done it like we said, but like make sure you go to a lawyer, you get a real estate attorney, and get those contracts just dialed in from the start. You don't want to mess around with having bad contracts or bad, just like creating for lack of a better word, a shit show.
Yeah.
With it, because that's just a lot of red tape and a lot of money, just kind of changing, like I guess not digital hands, but like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just make sure you get your contracts right. I guess that's my main tip.
Reminds me of this quote from a long time ago, and it says, "Rent a man a garden, and he'll turn it into a rock."
Yeah.
Where if you rent to own a man a rock, he'll turn it into a garden. So that's
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's probably the better tip than what we said before.
Right?
So,
That's our tip of the day.
Take that tip.
If you guys have any more questions on YouTube, go ahead, ask them below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll enter you in a draw to win some Modern REI shirts, which we don't have. And once again, or they're here, but they're not here.
Yeah.
So go ahead, subscribe if you like it. We got daily show coming every single day. Appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See ya.